Hi everyone, welcome to my first video. My name is Amanda. I'm going to be doing a bit of a Q&A to introduce myself and give a bit of a background as to why I'm starting this YouTube channel. One of the first questions would be, how far along are you and when is your due date? Currently I'm 29 weeks pregnant as of today. Every Friday is a new week for me. And my due date is supposed to be November 2nd. What are you having? I am having a girl, and I found out at about 20 weeks. I had a bit of mixed emotions, mixed thoughts on that. I had hoped for a boy. I told myself as soon as I got pregnant that I would be happy whatever it was. But before I became pregnant, I had always told myself that I really wanted a boy. Everyone in my family was suspecting it to be a boy very early on. So my family kind of pumped me up and got me excited to the point where I thought it was a boy too. So when I was scheduled for my anatomy ultrasound at around 20 weeks, I actually found out I was having a girl. I did want to cry a little bit, but I didn't cry. I just, at that point, was happy because I found out she was healthy and she's growing on schedule, and I started getting more and more excited because there are a lot of clothing items for girls, and it's just cute to kind of have like a little mini-me in a way. You can dress alike and all the cute hair ties and things like that. At what age did you conceive? Currently I'm 25 years old. I conceived back in February. I had considered myself to be a bit of a young mom, like on the younger side. I wanted to wait another year or two, but I'm very happy to have her either way. Another question that I have is if I had any morning sickness. I actually did not have any morning sickness at all. Next question, how did I find out that I was pregnant? So this may be a little bit of TMI, but my cycles actually had been irregular for a pretty long time until I met my boyfriend of about 6 years now in college. Only then did my periods really start to regulate. So when I say that my periods have become regular, they would always come every month, but it wasn't on the same date of the month. I used to use an app to track my ovulation. So basically, I was late. I was coming up on about a week late, and initially I wasn't worried, but then as more time passed, I did become a little bit more worried, and I was actually with my mom at the time, and she was doing my hair. I was actually getting it colored, and I had said to her, hey mom, I actually haven't gotten my period yet. And then, she questioned me. She's like, well, do you think you could be pregnant? And I was like, no, there's no way. Anyways, I didn't think there was a chance that I was pregnant. It turns out that she did in fact have a pregnancy test on her. She goes, yeah, I have one. It's expired, but you can try it. And I was like, oh, what are the odds? It'll probably just give me a false positive. Typically, when the test is expired, it could produce a false positive. Anyways, so I used the test and I looked down and it says pregnant, and it was the brand, I want to say Clear Blue. And so I was just in complete shock. At the time I wasn't really ready, I felt, to be a mom. So I ended up going home to my apartment, which I share with my boyfriend of 6 years, and I had brought him a little box type thing, and I had placed all the pregnancy tests in there. I actually took 2 additional tests just to make sure, and I handed him the box and I said, here, I got you something. And he opens the box and he's like, what? No way, with like a really big smile on his face. And he was ready. He was beyond ready. For about a year or so, he had been asking for a child, but I just felt that I had wanted to give it 2 more years or so for us to at least be married. We had already had our own place together. Both of us were established with our jobs. I just figured within the next 2 years it would have been more ideal. but we couldn't be happier. The next question, was the baby planned? No, the baby was not planned, at that time at least. My boyfriend and I had spoken about it, and we agreed that we did want to have a child, just not right away. So it was planned, but not at the time that it happened, I guess you could say. Oh, and I didn't really give too much of a background story of how personally I knew that I was pregnant, but basically the thing that really gave it away were my breasts. They stayed sore for longer than usual, and by the time I took the pregnancy test, I was already about 6 weeks along. I found out on March 5th, and I felt the baby move. I actually do feel the baby moving quite a lot now that I'm 29 weeks pregnant. I want to say that I felt the baby move for the very first time at about 8 weeks and 12 weeks, the 14th. But I knew right away, like, you feel the little movements. I describe it as like a little butterfly, like fluttering around in there. It's actually a pretty strange feeling at first as you start feeling the movements more powerful as they're growing and whatnot. I love feeling her move. She looks so cute on the ultrasound. I can't wait to meet her. A couple quick feelings and thoughts. I'm very excited as the due date is approaching. I can't wait to finish setting up her room, and I can go ahead and give you guys a view of my little baby bump. So, yep. There she is, my little baby. Baby bump. She's moving. How cute. She's trying to say hi to you guys. That's my baby bump at 29 weeks. See you guys next time. Bye.